break, really. There was a bit of a feeling of, well, I think one thing is important really to note there, that is that I spoke about George Downing as somebody who smiles from certain hand gestures, reaching out, really something that you've all seen when you had an infant really in your arms. Equally genetically wired, really, where you can see things such as a very straight, erect kind of sort of back. And in his infant observation, and the child, in the infant, like a genetic pre-program too, is to just really go back into, as in the morning, sort of really go into a straight line, that you have kind of a carefully and slowly approach the people on the other side. It doesn't come, but I still feel comfortable. The moment you're
going to come towards us?
Towards you. Yeah. You just stand and you kind of on the receiving side and close to you. Okay? And at the moment you feel like this is exactly the distance, you say stop. You may want to correct it. You say, okay, can you...
Biz uzun zamandır alanda yaptığımız çalışmalarda bir müdahale yöntemi olarak da aslında bedeni de işin içine sokuyoruz. Çünkü bir bütün olarak zihin beden bütünlüğü içinde çalışmak kaçınılmaz. Dolayısıyla da alandaki etkilerini doğrudan görüyoruz biz bu yaklaşımın ve geçtiğimiz 10 yıl içinde de bu alanda önemli çalışmaları olan uygulamacılarla, kuramcılarla işbirliği yapıyoruz. Dolayısıyla bu işbirliği bu yıl bir yüksek lisans programı haline geldi. Bir yüksek lisans programına dönüştü. Uluslararası Beden Psikoterapisi Sertifikalı Klinik Psikoloji Yüksek Lisans Programı ilk kez bu yıl öğrencilerini aldı. Programı biz İngiltere Sağlık Sistemi işbirliğiyle geliştirdik. Öğrencilerimiz programın ilk yılında uygulamalarını SOYAÇ projelerinde yapacaklar. Dolayısıyla bu eğitim programıyla doğrudan biz topluma da katkı sağlıyor olacağız. Hem Türkiye'de beden psikoterapisinin yaygınlaşması, beden odaklı klinik müdahalelerin yaygınlaşması anlamında hem de doğrudan bunun toplumda kullanılması anlamında da aracılık ediyor olacağız.
So, body psychotherapy is a fairly new development as far as academic psychology and psychiatry is concerned, but it has already a very long tradition. It was developed by a pupil, you could say, or a specialist in psychoanalytic psychotherapy. His name was Wilhelm Reich. He was a Freud follower at the time, but he developed his own understanding really as to how the experience of the body and the way the body relates to the world, the other people, matter really for mental health problems. And so he developed a very unique technique really to address the body directly in psychological therapies. But that was only the starting point of a long development, and academic body psychotherapy these days has many different components. It is to a certain extent conceptualized as relational psychotherapy. It has strong roots in well-being movements, reform, gymnastics, really at the beginning of the 20th century. And it is also quite significantly influenced by the human psychology movement. So the here and now of subjective experiences, the sensory experiences related to the very fact that the early self-development of every person is essentially grounded within bodily experiences. All these concepts really matter for body psychotherapy. Generally speaking, in the world of psychotherapy, we do see a slight shift as far as the evidence base is concerned. For a long time, cognitive behavior therapy dominated essentially the paradigm of clinical psychotherapy. More recent large-scale meta-analytic studies demonstrated that some of the effects really may have been overestimated in the past, and we do need flexible answers really to the complex problems that people bring into psychological therapy. So there are a number of very significant conditions such as personality disorders, psychotic illnesses such as schizophrenia, as well as chronic mental health problems where traditional talking therapies don't seem to have the desired effect. And over the course of the last decade, we've conducted a number of trials, both randomized controlled trials, but also clinical open trials. And those trials have demonstrated that body psychotherapy can add some significant additional value really to the portfolio of psychological therapies.